I refuse to accept gifts from my estranged sister for my kids. And it's breaking my heart.
Breaking my heart.
Oh, don't go breaking my heart.
You couldn't if I tried.
Both of my siblings disowned me. December 2021, my brother, 37 male, disowned me for reasons I can't say here. It involves a problem with his son that had affected the safety of our family for 3 years leading up to being disowned. I contacted the authorities after an incident. I didn't tell a soul. I was prepared to take this to the grave. I wanted it to be a wake-up call. I wanted my family to stop ignoring it and get him some help instead of convincing themselves that it would eventually just go away. By the way, this comes from user Feminism Takeover on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So, bad gas travels fast in a small town, even when you report it to authorities. Word got around to my sister, who called my brother and told him to expect a visit from a social worker. My brother and his wife called my mom immediately, saying I made it up, even though my brother had personally spoken to my mom and sister about this many times. My brother and his wife told my mom they were disowning me, and if I was in her life, then they would also disown her. They didn't speak to her or let her see their kids for a year. Spring/summer 2023, my sister officially disowned me. Things had been slightly different since she called my brother. She would hint about it sometimes, but then immediately didn't want to talk about it. She stopped responding to my messages. Turns out I was blocked. My mom called me crying one day. My siblings had started a group chat with my mom about me. My sister's messages were long. They said everything and nothing at the same time. A direct quote, "She's done so many terrible things to me." I read the whole conversation 3 times over, and I couldn't find a single clue what exactly she was accusing me of doing to her, or even a specific situation or conversation she was referencing. My mom had no idea what she meant either. The chat devolved into my siblings throwing insults at my mom, and at one point my brother said, "This is why you're still single."
Damn.
My mom and sister have reconciled since. My mom and brother, kinda. Both siblings still want nothing to do with me, which is devastating. I never had the chance to speak to my brother about reporting his son. So here come the birthday gifts. My twins turned 7. We had a big party with about 12 kids total and some family, and everyone had a blast. The next day, my mom sent me a text telling me a package arrived from my sister and it has gifts for my kids, and I didn't respond for a few days. I feel uncomfortable with it. My kids miss their cousins, aunts, and uncles a lot. It has become a source of confusion and sadness. A tangible item in our home from Auntie will inevitably remind them of their family more often. They will ask more often, leading to more confusion and sadness. I don't see it as a gift. I see it as a source of more heartache. I told my mom this. I asked her to either throw it out or keep it at her house. She said, great. Now all 3 of her kids are being rotten and not to talk to her about it. I told her I didn't disown anyone or call her and yell at her for 2 hours. I'm just not willing to put my kids through more stress, wondering why they haven't seen half their family in so long. She told me to stop dragging her into it. Okay, well, we've got bullet points.
We got bullet points.
First of all, she brought it up. It's always been a sensitive topic the past 3 years, anything to do with either of my siblings. I never mention them to her at all, and I don't say much when she brings them up. Back when my siblings did the group chat with her, my mom told me that it's not really about me. She said that they were mad because she wasn't doing what they wanted. It disowned me. And because they are all jealous of the close relationship I have with her. I think there's some truth to that, but I don't think it's the only factor at play. I think there's also some childhood trauma. Our parents got divorced when I was 8 years old, and a few months later we moved away so my mom could go to school. We went from having a stay-at-home mom to having a mom who was suddenly in school full-time and working full-time. My siblings had to stay home and look after me instead of doing whatever it is they would have been doing otherwise. I think they grew to resent that, saw me as a burden, and still see me as a burden. Now she's saying that it's my problem I'm dragging her into. So is it about you or not?
Yeah.
But that's a reach, being like, well, you liked me when we were children, so maybe this is actually about you?
Did you think about that?
We need more.
I need more information.
God. Back when my siblings were being butt hats to my mom, my instinct to protect her overshadowed my own feelings. 100% of my pain and venting was heard by my friends, and a lot of bawling my eyes out when my kids were with their dad. Not a chance in heck I was going to express that to her during that time and make her feel even worse. Now it seems like she thinks me and my children don't give a crap, and we are just bystanders in this awful situation that she has experienced, and like it hasn't been hurtful at all to us. I feel like she's completely disregarding that we lost about half of the immediate family from my childhood, 2 in-laws, 3 nephews, and 1 niece. They might not speak to us ever again, and if they do, I doubt we will ever grow close. It's a tough pill to swallow being tossed out by half of your family so easily. Anyways, my mom feels like I'm being a petty a-hole, trying to hurt her and dragging her into a sibling feud by refusing the gift. I feel like I'm protecting my children. Am I the a-hole? That's the other thing.
Yeah.
By refusing this gift, you are not protecting your children. You're deepening this
divide.
Yeah, exactly. You could give them a thing.
I also understand not wanting to give the gifts to them because they are absolutely going to ask, why aren't we seeing our family?
Well, and then is the reason you don't want them to ask that because you don't want to have to explain what you did? What are we talking about? The kids should know exactly what's going on. Some people think I could have gotten rid of it without involving my mom. And without my kids already receiving the gift. Let me clear that up. My sister lives on the other side of the country. Her and my mother have a gift exchange / middleman situation worked out. They ship the present and tell the other person blank is for so and so. When the box arrives, they wrap the present for the other and the gift is given to the intended recipient directly. If I had not intercepted the gift before my mother brought it over to my house, she would have just taken the gift out of the shipping parcel, wrapped it herself, brought it directly to my house, walked inside holding it, and loudly announced to my kids, "This is from Auntie." At that point, the damage would have been done. Also note that my sister has had my address saved in both her iCloud contacts and Amazon account for years now. She could have just sent it directly to me. Honestly, there's a 50-50 chance that she either sent it to my mom's house out of habit or intentionally to put the gift in my mom's hands instead of mine, knowing it might make me uncomfortable. The boys were more likely to receive it that way, and it would be harder for me to intercept. She is a crap stirrer by nature. My gut instinct was that she was using my children as pawns in an effort to upset me. I have no idea if there's any truth to that at all. It was just my first gut instinct. The other half of my brain tells me she has the awareness that it also hurts my children and wouldn't be worth it. And there's an update.
Man, oh man.
Are we gonna dig in?
I'm like trying to think of if I have anything to offer this story, and I just keep hoping that we'll get more information on it.
My mom has, quote, forgotten that anything ever happened, making me question my sense of reality.
That's so funny.
2 days ago, I posted about accepting a gift from an estranged family member who disowned me. This family member is still no contact with me, but has managed to establish contact from a distance in an unhealthy way. This new dynamic is confusing and hurtful to my kids. After reading the comments, I came to the conclusion that I'm allowed to have boundaries, but my delivery wasn't great. The way I see it, we've been disowned by my siblings. If either of them reach out to me in the future, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But for now, my family and I deserve to live in peace. Children are not pawns at our disposal to hurt each other. Last night, I sent a text to my mom that was simple, kind, and clear. I asked her to stop speaking about either of my siblings around me and not to act as a middleman between me and my siblings in any way. FaceTiming them and putting my kids on the phone, updating us on their lives, being a gift exchange middleman, etc. I pointed out that in 3 years, I have mentioned my siblings unprompted one time via text to tell her I wasn't comfortable with her taking my kids to my brother's house alone. So I think, let me reiterate now.
Yeah.
Because there was some comment about how this had been going on for 3 years or something. But I thought that comment was about like the situation with the kid. But the 3 years is going on with the estrangement.
Yes.
The disowning.
Yeah. And it seems like now the mother has been this middleman to have the OP's kids meet up with and talk to the estranged siblings.
Yeah.
Which is really weird dynamic.
All other conversations have been initiated by her. Accusing me of dragging her into it wasn't right. The other day I was responding with a boundary, and I think it would be best for her to stay out of it completely from now on and just let it be. I'm going to quote her response here. My name, are you out at your dad's? I don't know what emotional thing you're going through or if something has happened, but something has obviously made some feeling come up for you. I'm not going to read this whole text. I can tell by the first few sentences it isn't anything to do with me because you and I have been fine. What? Yo!
She's like, I couldn't possibly be causing any problems with you.
Yeah.
I know we're fine.
After being like, I'm not reading all that, and clearly you're in some kind of mood or whatever. So
some kind of tiff that has nothing to do with me, of course.
Yeah, so get over it, I guess, and then talk to me later. because I'm not reading all that.
Hey,
By the way, we want you to read
all these stories with us
with every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap on our profile until you're in the live. I wish I could articulate how I'm feeling right now, but my brain is fried from all this. Us too.
Yeah.
And I'm questioning my own reality. I feel like my entire family views me as an unworthy, unlovable pain in the butt, which is how I felt for a good portion of my childhood. As an adult, it's somehow more gut-wrenching. I want a new family. My dad will not touch the issue. I asked him about my siblings one time since being disowned, after hearing a narrative that my dad wasn't going to invite me on the vacation because of my brother, and the only thing he would say is leave me out of it. In general, this is a good call for him. It also leaves me on an island now. And that is the end. I think you're going to have to swallow your pride, brother. If you want to stop being on the island, start swimming.
I guess my advice / question is, for OP, is this a situation where you want to go no contact? Is this something where, because someone in the chat said, like, you don't want siblings that are going to put your kids in danger and stuff, which is true. Is this a situation where they are doing something bad and you're like, I don't want to ever see them. I don't feel like kids are safe around them? Because in that case, stay no contact.
Sure.
Or
if there was a real valid reason why you did that, sure.
Or is this a situation where they have taken a step back away from you and you're like, well, they are not talking to me, so I'm not talking to them? You have to think about this situation and decide which of those it is, because is it your desire to keep your kids safe, or is it pride? And that's you have to decide for yourself which it is.
That is the end of that
we just
story.
don't know.